Hi, peace be with you. My name is Rodolfo Martin Vitancol. I am 71 years old. Last year, I got paralyzed from waist down and was also diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of the prostate. My paralysis was caused by a tumor in the spine. The doctor removed the affected bone and replaced it with a synthetic one. The tumor was metastatic, meaning it could spread out to other parts of my body. With my paralysis, I lost the ability to pee and poop on my own. To pee, I was fitted with a catheter. To poop, I needed suppository. I also lost my erection. As for my stage 4 prostate cancer, the doctor recommended 3 options. Option number 1, remove the prostate. Option number 2, undergo chemotherapy. Option number 3, have hormone injection every 3 months, as well as a monthly bone infusion for the rest of my life. I chose the third one. But only after one session, I decided to stop it. And not only the injections did I stop, but also all the medications and supplements I've been asked to take. Why did I just suddenly stop all of them? I was not getting any better. In fact, I was getting even weaker and in much greater pain. The side effects of all the drugs I've been taking were just too much. For instance, I experienced horrible things which were not there before, like the blurring of my vision, my constant drowsiness, my catching colds, the acute pain in my liver, and my losing much weight. I was so much in agony that I thought if I were to continue with the treatment, I was so sure I would be a goner in less than 6 months. From the medical way, I decided to switch to the natural way. I still believe that our body has its own way of healing itself if only allowed to do its job of healing itself without any interference from any kind of drugs. Just consider the wounds in our skin. Without applying any medicine to it, the wound will disappear in time. I remembered I once had a recurring pain in my upper left lung. I was advised by my friends to go to a doctor and have it examined. I would not. Why? I already knew what the doctor would do. They would have my lungs x-rayed. Surely, they would see something in there. Expectedly, they would recommend for an operation or chemotherapy, plus all sorts of drugs to treat the ailment. I didn't like that. Instead of having it treated medically, I opted for the natural way. I applied what I call sweat therapy. What is sweat therapy? I would do stationary jogging every day, which would make me sweat a lot. Likewise, I avoided all kinds of air pollution like a plague. Miraculously, it worked. In 3 months' time, the pain disappeared, but not completely healed. Why? Each time I smell pollution, the pain bites. In other words, you cannot kill cancer cells. Cancer cells don't die, they just sleep. Once they get subjected again to that very thing that causes them, they wake up. This explains why cancer returns after the patient has been declared healed. The patient must have done something that triggered the cancer cells to wake up again. Looking back, I was so sure the reason why I got cancer and paralysis was the many wrong food I was eating. Indeed, I could not suspect anything except the food. Why? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I do exercise regularly. Except for one. I was a voracious eater. And I eat anything. And when the food in front of me is my favorite, I just can't stop eating till I'm overfilled. Unfortunately, there were many wrong foods that I had been consuming that ultimately took its toll on my health. What are these wrong foods? What is CTF? They are foods treated with chemicals, which we commonly call processed foods. But I have a different name for them. I call them CTF, chemically treated food. Chemicals are poison. The reason we don't die right away after taking food treated with chemicals is because the amount of chemicals in the food are on safe level in compliance with the FDA regulation. But take them in all its purity and in large amount, we are dead meat. CTF is for me the leading cause of almost all kinds of diseases that afflict humankind. CTF is food for cancer. What are the different kinds of CTF? Almost all the food that we buy at the grocery stores, as well as those we ordered from fast foods and restaurants, are CTF. They are food that could not be processed without adding chemicals to them. Let me name some of them. They are all kinds of bakery products like tasty bread, pastries, biscuits, and cakes. All kinds of bread spread like butter, peanut butter, cheese, liver spread, and strawberry jam. All kinds of condiments like fish sauce, soy sauce, oyster sauce, and even iodized salt. All kinds of frozen food like sausage, hot dog, and ham. All kinds of canned goods like corned beef, sardines, and pork and beans. All kinds of packaged food like noodles, cereals, and oatmeal. All kinds of bottled drinks like cola drinks, pineapple juice, orange juice, including milk like soy milk, almond milk, and whole cream milk. Even coffee and tea are CTF for me. Even herbal medicines are CTF. I thought if all these wrong foods were the ones that caused my disease, common sense dictates that if I could completely avoid all of them, the chances of my getting healed of my cancer and paralysis are great. And that is exactly what I did. I decided to refrain from taking all kinds of food with chemicals in them. I only limit myself to natural food, such as fruits, vegetables, fish, chicken, and an occasional pork and beef. All the food must be cooked without adding any chemically treated ingredients in them. I only allow rock salt and pepper to flavor them. And if the food has to be fried, I only use virgin olive oil. My goal is not for any slight amount of food chemical to ever enter my system again. I developed a name for myself. I call myself PURIST. I turned PURIST right on the first week of my contracting the disease. And the result was simply nothing short of miraculous. In only 6 months' time, I beat my stage 4 cancer and paralysis. In other words, I could perfectly walk again as if nothing happened and without cancer anymore. The result was so good that I believe if I were to continue being purist for the rest of my life, I could live up to 100 years. Such is the wonder of being a purist. Indeed, natural food is not only food, it is medicine. If only all people in the world would be purists, the average life expectancy in the world will not be 70 years anymore, but 100. But come to think of it, there is really nothing miraculous or magical in my getting healed. It is all but law of nature. Law of nature dictates that all kinds of food that is not natural are not healthy. Our body was made for natural food, not for CTF. Curiously, everyone in the world knows that eating only natural food is the answer to a healthy and long life, and that taking processed food or CTF is bad. But still, people take CTF. You would wonder why. I know the answer. There are only two possible reasons. Reason number one, CTF just tastes good. In fact, they were really made to taste good, so people will buy them. Food is business, yes? Reason number two, people lack self-discipline. Most diseases were not caused by people taking wrong food, more than people having the lack of discipline in hindering themselves from taking wrong food. And I know why. Cancer does not strike that fast. Unfortunately, there is what we call buildup. Thank God that when He made human bodies, He made the body's organs strong. Let us take, for example, smoking. Everyone knows that smoking is bad for the lungs. It can lead to cancer. But just the same, many still do smoke. Why? It is because getting cancer is just too far away. And so they smoke. After 10 years of smoking, truly nothing happens. Another 10 years more, and still nothing happens. Another 10 years more, and still nothing really happens. However, another 10 years more, and that's it. The buildup of poison in the lungs reaches a point of explosion. And before the smokers could quit, the cancer is already stage 4. Indeed, God made man's organs strong, but He also put a limit for those who tend to abuse. It takes one hell of willpower to be a purist. Imagine containing yourself from eating the food you like. It's a great punishment indeed, yes? My getting healed from cancer and paralysis in just 6 months' time is my testament to willpower and faith in God. All glory be to God. Had I not switched to the natural way and went on with the medical way, will the result have been the same? Or I'm already a goner? If you want complete details on how I beat my cancer and paralysis, I put everything down in an ebook with the title of How I Beat My Stage 4 Cancer and Paralysis in 6 months' time, the natural way. The links are provided in the description box. Take note that the natural way I took to get healing worked for me, but may not necessarily also work for you. I believe each patient is unique in their own case. Not two are ever alike. The sickness may be similar, but the physical makeup of the persons may be not. As one idiom states, one man's meat is another man's poison. What works for me may not work for you. The best that my way or my ebook can offer is to open minds that treating an illness is not the exclusive domain of medical science. Somewhere out there may also lie other alternatives that when tried may perhaps turn out to be way much better than the medical way. If you believe there's no substitute for the medical way, so be it. Follow your heart. The choice is strictly yours and yours alone. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day, and God bless.